Hello everyone. What happened in the US market last night? Why Google share price increased 6%? Second, what RBI governor said about interest rate cut in his interview? And third, updates regarding Paytm block deal and Rupee concerns. All this we are going to discuss in a regular pre-market report video for today, 25th November 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. First, about what happened in the US market last night. Apparently, within the OpenAI company, there was a memo which OpenAI CEO Sam Altman admitted that Google's recent AI model Gemini might create some major economic impact on OpenAI kind of. This memo was leaked last night and as a consequence, it increased the Google share price by 6%. In addition, other AI related stocks such as Nvidia and Oracle also increased near 2%. So that's the first positive. Then second, we discussed this in the last pre-market video. Last Friday, New York Fed President John Williams was in favor of rate cut in December month, which in turn created the major U-turn on the CME Fed Watch tool. So last Friday, US market closed significantly positive. Now, last night, another influential FOMC member, Fed Governor Christopher Waller, echoed the same remarks that he is advocating for the rate cut in December meeting, which again also increased the positivity further. So because of those two reasons, US market rallied for the second session in a row. Dow Jones was up by 0.44%, S&P 500 increased 1.55% and Nasdaq rallied 2.69%. In case of VIX, it crashed 12.5% further and dropped to near 20.5 from 23.5 on last Friday. However, none of that was reflecting in the Indian ADR, as it is all the stocks closed negative except Wipro, which showed no fresh movement. And if we calculate the arbitrage, Infosys alone showing positive 0.5% difference, whereas Wipro ADR, ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank ADR all showing negative 0.5% arbitrage difference. And Reliance GDR showing no fresh movement. So banking stocks showing weakness, IT stocks mixed. And also early morning today, GIFT Nifty traded at roughly same place as yesterday, 25,985. As we know, today is the NSE monthly expiry. So at some point, this 30 points premium will nullify. Please be aware of it. But because that was the premium at the end of yesterday, so considering that for now, it's indicating flat opening. Whereas in case of oil, various analysts released their opinion that it's unlikely a deal between Ukraine, Russia and US will be reached anytime soon, which in turn increased the oil price by 2%. So at the time of this video, WTI crude trading at $59 per barrel, whereas Brent crude trading at $63 per barrel. So those were the things happened in the dollar market. Then let's move to India related new info. First, very important one, yesterday with a Z Business TV, RBI governor gave an interview. In that he mentioned that he conveyed to investors very clearly in the last MPC meeting itself that RBI has got the more room for further interest rate cut. We know next Friday RBI interest rate MPC meeting is due. So this is clearly positive from short-term perspective. However, I'm not sure about its today's influence. Just for info, yesterday RBI released their monthly bulletin as well. In a way, the same remarks were echoed in that. In addition, it gave all the positive related economic macros like 6.8% GDP growth projection due to tax cut and low inflation projection, etc. But the same bulletin showed that RBI had sold about $8 billion in September month to stabilize the rupee drop, which is a bit worrying as now rupee is trading above 89 rupees per US dollar. However, this Wednesday, US Beige Book and US GDP growth data is due. Here, I'm guessing, and also if by chance US economy is not as good as market expectations, then that will put some pressure on the dollar index, which in turn expects to provide some support to Indian rupee. So, at least for the next 2-3 days, I don't think rupee will slide further. And let's hope for it. Then second, stock wise, we could say Paytm will be on focus as yesterday in the open market, BNP Paribas sold over 1,700 crore rupees worth of equity. As a summary, for the second session in a row, US market closed positive and there is a revised strong hope for the US interest rate cut in the December month. So global momentum is good. Similarly, RBI governor interview regarding the Indian interest rate also very favorable. However, none of that was reflecting in neither GIFT Nifty nor Indian ADR, maybe because of monthly expiry. I guess our market is not factoring those. Here, please be cautious. Today, only NSE related expiry, whereas BSE related expiry will be on Thursday. So, when entering the position as a contrarian, please consider that. Moving on, about institution. No surprise, again FI was net sellers. The net sold for 4,200 crore rupees. Please note, yesterday was MSCI index rebalancing effective date, so that related influence was also there. Whereas on the other hand, DA net bought for 4,500 crore rupees. Then moving to participant wise open interest analysis. Yesterday, index future open interest increased marginally 0.7%, whereas on the index options 25.7% new call option open interest were added and 0.6% put options open interest unwound. Because of more call option open interest addition, the PCR ratio decreased to 0.8 from 1.01. Then stance wise in the next options, client holding net 14.5% open interest favoring bullish position, whereas FII and property traders having net 5.5% and 8.7% of their open interest respectively favoring bearish position. In case of future index, client and property traders having 64% and 69% of their open interest respectively on the long side, whereas on the other hand, FII is holding massive 86% of their open interest on the short side. Regarding the 25 delta risk reversal, yesterday the spot market closed at 25,959 mark. And at that close for today's expiry, the 25 delta call option strike is at 26,075 with a IV of 12.91%, whereas the 25 delta put option strike is at 25,845 with a IV of 13.11%. Hence, the distance from the spot for both call and put is roughly the same. The 25 delta risk reversal is just negative 0.2%. Considering that market always prices the put side little bit heavier for the hedging purpose, I would say the risk reversal is more of neutral with positive bias. Please note, this is the present situation. This could change when market opens. Then as per stock open interest, Power Grid India, Oil India, Paytm, Prestige, Bharti Airtel, CG Power and PFC are some of the 81 stocks that got an increase in open interest along with a negative close indicating the short build-up. On the other hand, Fortis Healthcare, PVNL, Nykaa, HCL Tech, KPIT Tech, Eiger Motors and Blue Star are some of the 23 stocks that got an increase in open interest with a positive price close, which means these stocks indicating the long build-up. About the things to look out, in the afternoon at 12:30 p.m., Germany's Q3 GDP growth rate data is due to release, whereas in the night, US Producer Price Index, retail sales data and CB Consumer Confidence data are the important things we need to look out for today. Coming to technical, Nifty opened 50 points gap up above 26,100 but could not sustain those gains due to profit booking in the last hours of trade, then finally closed below 26,000. Thus, on the daily chart, Nifty formed a long bearish candle and it touched the 10-day exponential moving average during the session but still held above all key moving averages. In addition, it continued to form a lower high lower low formation for the second consecutive session with RSI dropping to 57 having a bearish crossover. Hence, the next support for Nifty is at 25,850, the lower end of the previous week's range 25,850 to 26,250 and the middle of the Bollinger Band, and on the higher side 26,100 and 26,250 are the hurdles to watch. In case of Bank Nifty, it opened more than 100 points gap up and gained strength throughout the session. However, due to profit booking in the last hours of trade, it dropped and closed below 59,000 level. Thus, on the daily chart, Bank Nifty formed a bearish candle with a long upper shadow and a minor lower shadow, indicating weakness and pressure at higher level. However, it still traded above all key moving averages, but MACD dropped below the reference line and RSI at 63 maintaining a bearish crossover. Hence, going ahead, the 20-day exponential moving average zone of 58,400 to 58,300 could act as the critical support, and on the upside, 59,200 to 59,300 zone could act as the key hurdle. Regarding the options front, the maximum call option open interest was at 26,100 strike, followed by 26,200 and 26,300, with maximum new call option ending at 26,100, 26,150 and 26,300 strike. Meanwhile, the maximum put option open interest was at 26,000 strike, followed by 25,500 and 25,700, with the maximum new put option hitting at 25,850, 25,950 and 25,500 strike. Thus, from options data, it's indicating potential resistance at 26,100 to 26,200 zone, with potential support at 25,900 to 25,800 level. So that's all in this video. Hope you got some useful information. Please consider subscribing the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment decision based on this, as not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers' educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.